under international law, no. Israel does not have the right to go into other countries and kill people. Certainly not with warplanes flying, and shooting missiles at stuff. That's called an invasion. It's called an act of war. Okay? And Israel doesn't have the right to do that. They claim that right, but we know that, they don't have any more right to start dropping bombs on Sudan than Adolf Hitler had to start dropping bombs on Poland. It's complete nonsense. It's just an act of war. And Israel is going out on this idea that they have some kind of an inherent natural right to go anywhere in the world and do whatever they feel like they need to do. Assassinate people, blow things up, kill people, arrest people, kidnap people, whatever. It's okay for them to do it. Of course, if anybody were to go into Israel and act that way, Israel would be screaming, oh, it's the Nazis, it's the anti-Semites, and so forth and so on. And it gets back to that whole double standard thing, which is really at the heart of, I think, the world's rejection of Israel, is that Israel insists on a double standard, that there's one set of rules for Israel, and there's another set of rules that really applies to everybody else, but does not apply to Israel. And we're seeing that right now with this very obvious campaign to basically duck all responsibility for the violations of international law that took place during Operation Cast Lead. And we're continuing to see the furor over Goldstone's report. Now, Judge Goldstone has come back and said that his editorial that he wrote isn't really a refutation of his original Goldstone report. Britain is basically saying, no, we don't see any reason to retract the Goldstone report. But Israel's out there screaming, yes, you've got to do that, yes, you've got to do that. And they're basically trying to rewrite history. And Israel has a long history of rewriting history to suit themselves through the owned prostitutes in the media, through the courts of law, and all of this stuff. We got to take a break. I think we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth.
The Berkey Light's unique design combines the age-old process of microporous filtration coupled with modern state-of-the-art technology and the highest quality materials, bringing you the finest water filter available anywhere. The revolutionary Berkey Light, with its exclusive black Berkey filter elements, remove pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels. Harmful or unwanted chemicals are reduced to below detectable levels. And it reduces nitrates and unhealthy minerals like lead and mercury while leaving the nutritional minerals your body needs. Made of durable Lexan, the material used in making bulletproof glass, the system is durable, rugged, and yet attractive. The Berkey Light is transparent, so there is no guesswork when refilling the system. The water level is always visible. The rechargeable LED lighting system is beautiful as a night light and as necessary in emergency situations. Get the Berkey Light, the transparent water filter, for only $259.
Call today, 877-605-9200. That's 877-605-9200.
The Grainmaker Grain Mill. Handmade goodness since 1999. Handcrafted stainless steel and high-quality alloys. There has not been a finer grain mill made right here in the great state of Montana. Hand-operated, the grain mill does it all. Wheat, corn, peanut butter, rye, rice, coffee, beans, flaxseed, all grain types. Make your own gluten-free flour. Experience the satisfaction of providing wholesome, nutritious foods for your family without additives or preservatives. Each mill is handcrafted with manufacturer's lifetime warranty. To order your grain mill, call us at 1-800-724-2719 or go to our online store, republicbroadcasting.org. Take a look at why this grain mill will be passed down through generations.
Warning for all Gulf Coast disaster survivors. Be aware that dangerous gases are in the air you breathe. Benzene, hydrogen sulfide, methylene chloride, and Corexit 9500. Keep your body clean with Micro Plant Powder. For all Gulf Coast residents and all who want to be healthy, HempUSA.org brings you a new formulation of Micro Plant Powder with Lactobacillus acidophilus, rebuilding your immune system while detoxing the rest of your body, pulling out positive toxins, heavy metals, viruses, fungus, bacteria, and parasites. Cleans and purifies the blood, lungs, stomach, and colon. Micro Plant Powder will help eliminate these dangerous chemicals from the body used in the Gulf cleanup. At HempUSA.org, we want you to try our #1 selling detox product, Micro Plant Powder. Call and order at 1-908-691-2608, 1-908-691-2608, or visit us at HempUSA.org today.
When all this twisted steel was swept away, did these remaining holes reveal what's really happening?
And aloha, America. Welcome back to our show here. And I want to talk about this. We're still talking about Israel. And the headline, Fighting Flares in Gaza. Israel is basically shelling Gaza. Attack helicopters are all over the place. And this began after an anti-tank missile was fired from the Gaza Strip, hit an Israeli bus, wounding a teenage boy. Now, come on, people. An anti-tank missile against a bus full of kids? This is designed to make whoever did it look as bad as, or whoever's accused of doing it, look as bad as possible. Use your brains, use your common sense. Would Hamas, would anybody in Palestine carry out an attack so horrific and offensive to common sense and humanity that it's going to destroy the support of the world at a time when Hamas most needs it to create a Palestinian state? Of course they're not going to. Who wants to sabotage the support of the world, pushing for the creation of a Palestinian state? Israel does. This has got Israel false flag written all over it. There are no real acts of terror. They're all fakes to be blamed on a third party, because nobody who wants to affect change in the world goes out and commits an act that is going to just destroy all public sympathy and support for what they're trying to do. It's just it's common sense. If you stop and think about it, if you stop making obeisance to the TV networks and let them decide for you what you're going to think and conclude, if you look at the situation objectively and analytically, put yourself in the shoes of Hamas. Are you going to do something like this? Of course not. It's an act of sheer idiocy to do something like this. Then you put yourself in the shoes of Israel. And you say, I want to make Hamas look bad. What are you going to do? Oh, let's send our agents provocateurs into Gaza, fire a missile at a bus, and we've got the perfect thing. We can say, oh, look what those horrible Arab Muslims did. Again, we must go in and smite them, which is what they're doing. We know from British intelligence that Israel actually set up the hijacking that led to the raid on Entebbe. By way of deception, thou shalt conquer. Israel survives by hoax and fraud and deception. When they were attacking the USS Liberty, Israel was trying to frame Egypt for it. The only reason they didn't get away with it is the Liberty didn't sink. Same thing with the Lavon affair. Israeli agents in Egypt blowing things up, planting evidence to frame the Egyptians. Fortunately, one of the bombers got caught, and the hoax was revealed. But this many years after the fact, and all these hoaxes later, we understand this is the standard mode of operation. Commit an atrocity that is just going to upset and offend everybody who sees it, and then blame it on the designated target of invasion. And there's nothing new about that. I mean, that's what Hitler did at Gleiwitz. Roosevelt goaded the Japanese into attacking Pearl Harbor, and then told everybody it was a surprise, to anger the American people into the war. All war is based on deception. Israel's getting ready to go back into Gaza for Cast-Lead 2, and they want to be able to go on committing the war crimes they did before. That's why they're trying to basically get the Goldstone report yanked back, because They want to say, hey, it's legal for us to use these shrapnel weapons, these flechette tank shells that just mow down hundreds of people in a single blast. It's legal for us to throw white-hot flaming phosphorus all over schoolyards filled with school children. It's legal for us to do that, therefore it's right. And, of course, it's nonsense. A lot of things are legal that aren't right. Slavery used to be legal in the United States of America. We know it was not right. Everything Adolf Hitler did was legal under the letter of the laws of Germany at the time, but we know that was not right. And what Israel is doing to the Palestinians may be legal under the laws of Israel, but we know it is not right. We're on the wrong side of this particular conflict. Our media is constantly trying to tell us that the Arab Muslims are the problem and have to be dealt with, and yet it is the Arab Muslims who are the only ones not constantly invading their neighboring countries. And we need to remember that. We need to remember that. Meanwhile, over here in the United States of Israel, 11 U.S. senators have stood up to vow that even if the government shuts down tomorrow for lack of a budget, that they will make sure that American tax money continues to flow to Israel. There may be no money for schools or roads or police or government offices or any of that stuff, but by golly, the cash will continue to flow to Israel, no matter what. And this gets back to my commentary before about no government can serve two masters, and a government that serves Israel cannot and does not serve the American people. A friend of Israel is no friend of America, especially after their killing Americans in international waters last year. And the time has come to rid our nation of these traitors in our midst. You are either for America or you're not. And that's basically, we need to, going into the 2012 election, if they're a friend of Israel, get rid of them. They cannot possibly be of any benefit to you. Of course, with the massive amount of vote fraud that we have in this country, you know, it's hard to get rid of these parasites and traitors playing by the rules. Because, again, there's that double standard. You have to play by the rules, but we don't have to. The invisible man in the clouds that nobody else can see but us says that we're allowed to lie, cheat, and steal, and you're not. Israel has basically stated flat out that if the United Nations recognizes a Palestinian state, Israel's response will be to immediately attack and conquer it and destroy it. Which tells you all along for the last 60 years, every time Israel talks about, you know, peaceful blah, 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 blah with the Palestinians, they're lying. They want the land. They want the Palestinians gone, and they want the land, and the United States has backed them up in the United Nations as they grab a little more, and grab a little more, and grab a little more, and grab a little more. Israel understands that global support for Israel is on the wane. They're panicking right now. They're losing their control over their neighboring nations in the Mideast. They're starting to actually lose the complete totality of control they have here in the United States of America just because people are fed up with this crud. And so Israel may be putting the pedal to the metal and say, we better do it now. Whatever our grand plan is for Eretz Israel, we'd better do it right now. So they're literally threatening the United Nations that if they dare recognize a Palestinian state, Israel will simply wipe that state off the map. Meanwhile, over in Awarta village in the West Bank, the IDF just arrested 100 women, ostensibly as part of the investigation into the murder of that family in the Itamar settlement. Now, we already know from reports on the ground that that murder was committed by an Asian worker who got stiffed on his pay by the family, which is a very common occurrence in the settlements, a very common occurrence in Israel as well. And the guy basically lost his cool because to an Asian refusing to pay him, it's not just a matter of the money. It's a personal insult. It is saying your work was of low quality. And that's an attack on their face and on their image and reputation. And they're going to get angry. And apparently that's what happened. But Israel, as we saw with the synagogue this morning with the utility explosion next door. Oh, how can we use this to sell the agenda? It's a pipe bomb on a synagogue. No, it wasn't. But that's what they said, because that's what helps the agenda. And over in Israel, they're still trying to say that, oh, there must have been some gosh darn Palestinian Hamas assassin killed this family for no good reason whatsoever, and they're off and running, basically doing what they're doing. And they've now arrested 100 women from this village, and we don't know what they're doing to them, but I presume that it's not very pleasant at all. All right, we got a caller on the line. Danny in California. Aloha, Danny. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hello. I just have a question for you. You can take it offline. It's more of a strategic question about the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like the general strategy is a domino strategy where they knock down all of their enemies one by one. Am I not correct?
Well, I'm not sure of that because Israel has already infiltrated and subverted pretty much all the countries in the area. What they're worried about, as we saw in Egypt and potentially some of these other countries,